Sorry, Angela, can I just ask, so the amount approved by the board for the non-capital items is 800,000
That's correct.
across the portfolio, and that's divided amongst 23 OUs,
That's correct.
including contract management. And the allocation is based on, what do they call it, heads and beds? That's how it's allocated?
Yes.
I know, it's a scary process, and I never understood that. So they could receive between 30,000 and 90,000 per OU. Correct, okay. So I noted in here that we're gonna do something for 2 years, and then in the third year, we're just gonna allocate the funds to the buildings and let the buildings decide.
So I understand that because of the way in which the process is going to work, and to make it fair, the only way to make it fair is that we do the process for 2 years and then have a slightly revised system in the third year.
So what I'm not understanding, if that slightly revised program in the third year is a fair program, why don't we just do that from the get-go rather than change it in the third year? We've got 2 different processes.
It's due to how the money is broken up and allocated. The only way to make it fair is if you divide it over a 3-year period.
But the budget is for 1 year. I'm not understanding.
It is, but in each individual year, some communities will get more or less, and so the ones that will have got less in years 1 and 2 will essentially be able to get a higher amount in year 3.
So sorry, what I'm grappling with, you're given an annual amount to spend in that calendar year. I'm not sure what you 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 have to do with the year that you have a set amount of funds. That money, if it's based on heads and beds, that isn't going to change much from year 1 to year 2 or year 3. Same number of heads and beds, and the funding would be the same allocation. So I'm not understanding. That just seems like a very simple, transparent process to me. To go into a community, and this is by building or OU. So would a building receive a lump sum or the OU?
It's the OU.
So that allocation process would still happen. But in year 3, is it not a direct allocation to the buildings?
No, to the OUs.
Oh, so I thought year 3 it actually went to the buildings.
No, it's more that you were trying to balance it out by the third year, right?
Yes.
For the buildings that didn't actually get something.
Yes.
Yeah, so we've never
had
had
enough for everyone.
Yeah, we've
Yes.
never had control over that. Ask anybody at City Hall, when you want something put forward, you go around and you lobby your friends and enemies at City Hall and you get them to support your needs. This is what happens in this PB process, and it ends up a very sad story when some communities walk away with nothing year after year after year. And I do like the proposal that why can we not just allocate an amount for the social investment piece to the buildings, and that way everybody gets a piece of that pie.
I think.
And there's no infighting with 20 other tenant reps for a rake and a hose.
Said that there isn't an equal need across all of the bill, that this is the challenging. I don't think we're going to solve this.
Yeah, no,
today.
but I'm just saying it's heads and beds don't change.
I think you came up with the best recommendation based on the amount of funding that's available and trying to be as fair as possible. Is that correct?
That's correct. And if we'd have implemented the other model, what would have happened is we would have ended up only roughly allocating around $1,000 per building. And if you take a look at some of the projects that want to be delivered, they're going to cost a lot more than that. So what we've tried to do is to be able to deliver meaningful PB projects across the OUs.
Great. Any other questions? Okay. I think we need a little bit of time to think about this and come back. There's a lot there. Okay. Thank you. Anything else? Okay. So we're going to accept that for information at this point, the 2 reports. Can I have that removed?
Yeah, separate for information, but I wouldn't approve it.
Yeah, we're taking it for information. I don't think there's an approval on that at this point. It's
Okay.
your best recommendation. I think we'll do some further discussion. Capital Engagement and Conservation Program. And we have a deputation on this?
We do have a deputation, Mr. McGallop, will you look, please?
Thank you again for the indulgence of this committee to allow me to speak.